Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Happy Monday, everybody. A lot of us are coming back from spring break, so it's tough to get moving this morning.
And some of us aren't.
Sorry. The beach was good. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. So, it is our Monday message, which we're excited about this morning. Back to how this works. Lori kind of goes through some of our books and information and just kind of does a little meditation and says, what does everybody need to hear? And whatever kind of pops out, we discuss. So Lori's done that today, and she's going to tell us what our topic is.
Yeah, so today's about law of attraction, which most people have heard of by now. I mean, Oprah made it a phenomenon back in the early 90s, I guess. And so law of attraction basically just means um, what you put out comes back to you. So like attracts like. What you're thinking about, what you're putting your attention to, your energy to, is what you bring to you. And so basics of it are just that you have to get clear on what you want, and you think about that, you speak it of what you actually want, you just get really clear about what you're wanting to bring into your life, and then you take action steps towards that. You keep your thoughts and your words and your actions positive and going in that direction. And then at some point, you have to release that so that God can do his magic and bring it to you. So that's basically
Right.
what the law of attraction is. And I think that's something Tanya and I both have bonded over, I'd say. Wouldn't you say that? Of
Absolutely.
we have so many examples of how this just happens. I mean, I can't explain. There's science to it, I'm sure, but it really does work. So that's what our topic is today.
And so I think with the law of attraction too, what you put out, you get back,
Mm-hmm.
and what you put your energy on, and what you focus on is what you're putting out there and what you're getting back. And we've both talked about some examples for each of us, big and little, things that we um, have drawn to us, and simple things. So, I'll talk about a simple one is, right after we went to our first workshop, we were we were just back probably just a few days, and I had one kid at gymnastics on one side of town and the other two at dance at a different side of town, and somebody needed peaches for school project, and I was on Harbison and had not been in that Publix, and I was struggling because if I stopped, especially on Harbison, I just knew that I would never make it to gymnastics in time to pick up my child. So, in my mind, I was kind of saying, oh, there's no way, I don't know this store. What do I do? There's no way I'm going to get there in time. And then all the conversation we had during that workshop made me stop for a minute and say, you know what? I'm absolutely going to make it on time. I'm very grateful that getting peaches is easy. And literally, I pulled into the parking lot of Publix, front row parking. I walked in the door, had never shopped that store before. I walked in the door, and on the end cap was canned peaches, which I picked up. I went to the first line, which was nobody in it, and I was in and out of that store in 2 minutes and absolutely made it to my kid on time. And I know that sounds a little hokey or whatever, but it's honestly, that's just one small example of how thinking this way has truly made things come really easy. Things that are simple like this, and big, large life things, which Lori will talk about. But it's just the little things. I mean, the fact that I just changed the way I was thinking and said, you know what, getting peaches is going to be easy. And lo and behold, less than 3 minutes, and I was in and out of a store, which never happens. You guys know that. So I think that it goes back to the simple things, and what you think happens.
Yeah, so my big one is I totally manifested my husband. And I tell him this all the time. We laugh about it. But I had gotten to a point where I was ready. Like, I was ready to settle down and get married. And I didn't know how it was going to come to me, but I wrote about it in my journal. I prayed about it. I thought about it. I believed that it was right around the corner. And lo and behold, just out of circumstances that I never would have thought of, we came together. And I tell him all the time. So there was that Blake Shelton song about God gave me you, and I tell him that's totally true, because I asked for it and God provided him for me. So that's a huge thing. But I totally believe that, I did that. I worked with God to bring him to me, the right person for me.
And I think it was getting clear on what you
Yeah.
wanted, how you wanted it to go. No, you got to give up I guess you give up the house,
Yeah.
but what your end result was going to be, and then letting and allowing God in the universe to bring that to you.
Yep.
Um, and that's all law of attraction is. It's kind of like the law of gravity. You don't have a choice. What you put your attention on, if you jump off the building, you're going to fall to the ground. If you think about positive things, you're going to draw positive. If you think about negative, you're going to bring the negative. So
Yeah. So,
I think we all have a choice every day.
and so why not choose positive? So if we do have that choice, whether
Right.
you believe it or not, just try it, and get clear, and make sure that your thoughts, your words, your actions are about what you do want, and see if it works. I mean, we're not here to sell
Right.
you anything. It is what it is. And there's power in it, because if there's things that are not going well for you, you can pause and say, wait a minute, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I saying to myself or saying out loud that's bringing that to me? And usually you can find you are.
Right.
I mean, there's power in it. So just try it and see if it works for you.
Absolutely. And just try something small first. Try peaches. Try something, just something simple. It's the little things that make you go, huh, maybe there's something to
Yeah,
this.
parking
And then
space.
you can
Ooh,
start.
parking
Yeah,
spaces are
parking
good.
spaces. Anybody, and there's tons of you out there that's ridden with me, I always say I can manifest a parking space, and they always look at me like, what? And then lo and behold, front row, and they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I told you. It's because before I get to the parking lot, I just see myself in that front row spot, or at least in a spot that's what I want to make life easy. So just the small things. Try it, see what you think. I think you're all going to be amazed.
Yep. All right, there's your
All
message.
right. All right. Happy
Bye
Monday.
bye.
Bye.